Welcome back, guys, to an episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on this episode, we're going to talk all about my traveling adventures and a little bit of catching up since I've been gone and we haven't really talked in a little bit. Well, we've been kind of chatting via Messenger, but outside of that, we haven't really talked.
No, we haven't seen each other in person in weeks because our last couple of episodes, as you know, or maybe you don't know, welcome if you're a first-time viewer. We're so happy to have you. Our last couple of episodes were virtual, so we haven't been in the same room in several weeks.
In probably a month, actually.
Yeah. The longest stretch in a year.
Well, actually, we went and recorded that CBC episode. That was...
Oh, that's right.
That's true. Which was awesome. And it's finally out. Last episode, we recorded prior to us actually doing the episode. But now it's out and we got a CBC News article. What it is. Amazing. So hello to all you new people that happen to come over from those things. And thank you again to everyone that put us on things.
Yeah, thanks to Julia Wright and Cindy Grant at the Information Morning. And I think it was Sam Farley who wrote the news story out of it. What I was thinking about that as a former print journalist, and I was like, wow, how, I don't want to say awful, but how boring to listen to that interview of Isaiah and I, and then generate some sort of news hook out of it. I was like, Sam, you're a good man.
Yes, impressive.
It was very impressive. I was like, ooh, real life news story.
I think, where did I read it? I was probably in the airport in Montreal when I read it, or I was in the airport in Colombia. One of those two places. So
for those of you who don't know, Isaiah has spent the last couple of weeks in Colombia for his job.
Yes.
How was it?
It was amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. Nice and warm. Sorry for all of you that had to deal with the winter weather here. But it was nice and warm. I did learn that I need to like learn some Spanish. I would recommend trying to get some Spanish in if you're ever planning to go to really any other country that speaks Spanish.
Sound advice from Isaiah.
I know, that's sound advice. But I had some people with me that helped translate a lot of the time, so that was super helpful. But yeah, no, it was super awesome. It was a great experience.
So what was the food like?
So I feel like for the most part, it was very similar stuff that I was having there. What I found is there was a lot of the places that we went to was like hamburgers and things. Wagyu beef. If anyone's familiar with Wagyu beef, super cheap in Colombia. It's like, I don't know if are you familiar with Wagyu?
I have no idea what Wagyu is.
It's like supposed to be like the most premium of beefs. And like, it's like $100 here for like a burger. And it was like $20 there. It was amazing.
Sweet.
So I had a few Wagyu burgers. They had fish, a lot of fish in Colombia. That was another piece of the puzzle. I did have some mussels while I was there. I will say I prefer the Atlantic mussels we have, but their fish was great. So, yeah.
That's really interesting. And what was the most impressive thing you saw that you did? I know you were there for work, but I'm sure you did some touring.
I did. So there's a few things I really enjoyed. So one thing was a game I played. So if anyone's familiar with cornhole, it's this game there with a beanbag and you try and throw it across to land in the hole and you get a point. This game is similar to that, except it's played with like heavy clay rocks. And instead of throwing it into a hole, you throw it at these triangle things that are filled with gunpowder.
Right.
And it snaps. It's like a cap gun thing. And you're supposed to throw it at it and it hits it and it explodes. And then everyone in the bar that we were at goes, yeah, every time it explodes.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was like this weird bar we went to the night before I came home, where you went in and then you went in an elevator. It was like almost like a warehouse elevator,
right? And
you went all the way up to the top floor and got off, and then you were like in this crazy bar with lots of stuff. It was great.
That's awesome. And did you bring any trinkets home? What did you buy me? No, did you bring anything? Did you bring anything home? Like, is there anything super Colombian?
I didn't really bring any trinkets home. I brought some coffee home.
Oh, smart.
Because that's one of the key things you have to get there. Because of my language barrier, I had a hard time getting trinkets and things because like when I was with the people that could translate for me, we were out to eat or something like that. We weren't in an environment of getting extra things. So right. That was a little bit of a problem. I should have picked up some stuff. So we went to, and I can't remember the name of the actual place. I want to say it's Montenero or something. It's on one of the highest mountains in the area, with a cathedral church on top. And there's like a little market there, and I should have picked up some stuff there when I was there, but I didn't think of it because I was just like in awe of the amazing views we got while we were there.
And how about fitness? Did you have a chance to walk around a whole bunch? How did you feel about your time there?
So as far as fitness went, I did walk a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't work out, but I was walking a lot. Because it's so high up, I think the altitude's like 800,000 feet above sea level. Like it's almost like cruising altitude for some jets in like in like New York and in our area. So I felt a lot of like exhaustion just from walking around because the air's just so much thinner there. I know the first day I really felt it. Right. And then the day we went to the cathedral place, I was even higher up, and it was I could feel that.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
must feel like $1 million now that you're home.
Oh my goodness, it's so much easier to breathe here. Yeah. But I did feel the altitude was quite a bit while I was there. I've never felt that kind of altitude before. I've been to Denver, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna feel it in Denver," and I never really felt it there.
Right.
But here I really.
Now, if you were delivering advice to a larger person, what should they watch out for in Colombia while traveling there? Like we've talked about airplanes and things before, of course, but in the country itself, like how did you feel?
So people are definitely thinner there. The way in which people are just they are always out and about doing stuff. It seems, at least from the area that I was in. So a lot of the spaces are smaller. You're gonna find that I found the food portion sizes were okay.
Yeah.
They were what you probably should have as food. They weren't like tiny portions that like you might get at like a fancy restaurant. But they were like not giant portions like some places you get around here and
or the US
or the US or ever.
Yeah.
So I found that was fine. One thing I did find about like the spaces was that everything was a lot more cramped. So like sitting in a chair was a lot more, the table space wasn't as, I know, right? Sitting in chairs and stuff, a lot more cramped. And the food was a lot saltier than I was expecting.
Really?
Really salty food.
I wonder why. I wonder if it's because of preservation history or
maybe, I don't know. Not as flavorful food, which was disappointing.
Because when you think you're going, I don't know about you, but if I was thinking, and this is because I don't think worldly enough, this is on me. If I thought I was going to Colombia, I would picture it more like Mexican food or something like that, but it isn't, right?
No, it's very salty, kind of plain-ish food. Not really a whole lot of flavor. Like there's flavor there, but it's not like as spicy and as flavorful as I thought it was going to be. Like I was expecting spicy food,
right?
Which it's not.
Interesting.
More salty.
Okay. Good to know. And that sounds like an awesome trip.
It was so good.
And how was the travel there and to and fro?
So 2 wasn't too bad. I got some decent space in my seat. Going to Colombia, coming home, both flights, I was with some bigger people beside me. The one from Bogota to Montreal, dude sat down and just went like this. And I'm like sitting like off to the side. So I'm showing on video, but I'm realizing now that I need to talk about for you people that are just listening audio. He basically like spread his arms out, sat his back as far as he could, and like spread himself out
like the ultimate man spread.
Yeah. And we were in the emergency exit, so there was lots of lag room, but he was like really spreading out.
That seems unnecessary.
Very unnecessary. Yeah, so that was terrible. And then from Montreal to St. John, I went into Moncton instead of St. John. I was with another girl who was relatively bigger, and so we were both kind of like sitting cramped up. There were smaller seats on this one that we flew into as well, so the seats were already small and squished together.
But at least you were being polite about it together. Sorry.
And then one of us would lean forward, so one of us could lean back, and the other one would lean forward.
Oh,
it was just like
it sounds at least like a pleasant human.
Yeah, right. It was, yeah.
Like, I know I told this story on an earlier podcast, but I think it's worth revisiting for. But I remember, because I'm a larger person, and then one of the things with me, and I'm bigger than Isaiah is, but the armrest, if I try so hard to get to whatever seat I'm in first, so that I can pull the armrest up just to push it down, because it doesn't fit all the way down, but I can get it down so that it's comfortable for whoever sits in it. And I will do anything I can to shrink myself. Like, my shoulders are tucked in, I'll put my hands together. I'll be super uncomfortable myself, because I don't like when you take up a lot of space, or because I know I take up a lot of space, I try to crunch that in as much as I can. Right. And so this one guy, I think I was traveling from Miami to Toronto, then Toronto home. He sat down, realized that it was slightly ajar, lifts it up, and physically bashed it into my leg to the point where it left a bruise. Yeah, I mean, ultimately he assaulted me. And I was like, and he was like, give me the dirtiest look. And I was like, oh my God, I was completely bewildered, and I like didn't say anything, because I was like, oh yeah, you're right, I'm fat. I guess I deserve to be hit with an armrest.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was like awful. I think that's one of the last flights I was on too.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I avoid it.
I avoid flying. I mean, I love flying. I love going places.
Yeah, I like driving places.
But overall, the experience was amazing. I definitely recommend it. Again, learn Spanish first, I guess, or go with someone that will translate for you. I can't say how grateful I am for those people that were with me that were translating for me, because I probably would have had a way more miserable time if I was by myself, and basically I would have probably just sat in the room and had room service the entire time. Yeah,
because you're a social guy too, so you like to go out and converse with people, so that would have been a really big challenge for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I was there for work, I was going into work and talking to people all day, so that was fine. But yeah, it was definitely a bigger challenge when we were out and about doing stuff.
Yeah. No, that sounds like it was a good, for a work trip, sounds like it was a good trip.
Yeah, very much so. And now I'm gearing up for Utah.
Wow, Utah. And so when you're going, and you've been to Utah before.
I have, yes.
And that was your first time in Colombia.
Yeah.
Will you because you've been there before, you don't have as much site exploring to do like you would have, like it was the first time you've been there. Will you kind of develop more of a routine there?
Yeah, so I think because I'm going to be there for a month. So I'll definitely be going to the gym while I'm there, because I won't be sightseeing as much.
Right.
I think I will have I will do a little bit more sightseeing while there, because last time it was a lot of just trying to figure out the terrain, figure out what was what. This time, now that I know everything, well, most stuff that's there, I can like pinpoint exactly where I want to go and kind of have a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who heard that and are like, Isaiah's going away for a month, don't worry. We have a really intense recording schedule, so we're not going to miss a beat.
This is right. You will still see us weekly. We will still be around, and you will get to enjoy us every week on Wednesdays as we launch more and more episodes.
I brought a change of clothes to Isaiah's house today to trick you into believing that it was a different day we recorded.
Smoke and mirrors. But no, I'm excited to go to Utah. It's I now that I know what I know from last time, I can be better prepared for trying to make my trek to Salt Lake City.
Right.
Because that's where it's happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up that you want to plug or anything?
I do not, but I know that you have something going on. Is it called Hub Comedy? Is that the thing?
I have a few things going on actually because, I'm living large in many respects. Two things worth noting for listeners. One, I've got a 5-minute, and I've talked about this before, but I went to a Punchlines show last night. That was the first local show. And the headliner was Michelle Lynn Petit, and she killed. And the host was Arif Hussein, who amazing. Brian Godso, amazing. Stephanie Jack, amazing. And Chris Hovey, all is amazing. Like, it was an incredible lineup. And I realized how big a deal this 5 minutes that I'm doing on February 10th is. I guess it's 75% sold out. So if you want to come, get your tickets, please come and say you're there for Kate. Make me look really popular. Then she'll book me for more shows.
Yeah.
And I hope. And it's such an incredible venue. If you've not been to a comedy show there in St. John, it's so incredible and such a fun night out.
Yeah.
Like, totally do it, even if it's not to see me, but do it for me. So that's one thing. Like, get your tickets, go to Punchline's website or Facebook. But yeah, Punchline's website, and you can buy your tickets through there for their Eventbrite or call them or whatever. So cool.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I last minute entered into a comedy festival competition. Hubcap. Their Hubcap is in Moncton the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
End of January into the beginning of February. And they have a local comics competition. So the way that the judging works is that there's 4 judges, and then the 5th judge is people who vote on the videos. So we'll share the link out with the Facebook page when we post it, but because I control that. And if you want to give my YouTube a little votey vote, they'll give you instructions on to how that would be awesome. I mean, I feel it's fun. I've been doing this stand-up thing. I've talked about it a fair amount because it's kind of become a very big part of my life in a short period of time.
Very much.
And I love it so much. I've performed a lot of my life doing a lot of different things, a lot of music, a little bit of acting, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And it is the most fun I've ever had on stage. And it continually gets better. And I've been given so much mic time, and so appreciative of anybody who organizes any microphones in New Brunswick. Like, it's been such an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you. I already went and voted because I saw it. So everyone else should go and vote for sure. I actually think Isaiah was maybe the second person to. I noticed. I got a notification and I was like, man, he's a good friend. No, I saw it. I don't know where I was. I
hadn't even shared it yet.
I was probably in Colombia.
Yeah. And you had liked it before I'd even seen it myself.
Oh,
I was like, that's crazy. I didn't even realize they were up yet.
I saw it because Matt Keenan is also in the voting stuff.
Oh yeah,
so I was like, oh, who else is in it? I was like,
I know her. It was kind of cute. I saw Nigel, who we've had on the show, voted for both of us and commented on Matt's post. He said, I'm voting for both you and Caitlin Dean right now, but if it comes down to both of you in the top 10, I'm changing my vote to her. I was like, Nigel, Matt Keenan's way better than me.
Oh, good times. I am super excited. I hope you do well.
Thank you.
I unfortunately will not be here for any of the comedy shows that you're in because I'm only home for like 2 weeks before I fly.
Have you even seen me live once yet?
No, I'm a terrible person.
No, you're not terrible. You've been away. You've been busy. No, I wasn't saying it for that.
No, so one of these days I'll get a chance to see it live.
Yeah. That's actually kind of really funny.
What else you got going on? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I've got some music stuff going on. I'm playing a private event. Sounds bad. A corporate event on Friday of this week. We're playing for the Canadian Bar Association New Brunswick chapter.
Oh, nice.
The swing band. So I like to say that James Mullinger is opening for us, but it's because he's doing some corporate comedy and then we're playing a dance. So it stands to reason that that's the logical order. But I like to see it as James Mullinger's opening for me now.
No, 100%. He's definitely opening for you.
Yeah. And yeah, no, there's been a lot of cool stuff going on. Like I've my piece in the Maritime Edit, it's the winter edition.
Yep.
If you pick that up, I wrote about Sabian symbols. I feel like I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm just really excited about a lot of things right now.
You're doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Goodness,
you know what I'm not doing is sleeping.
Well, who has time for that?
Sleep when I'm dead.
That's right. But no, you're doing a whole lot of stuff. Super exciting.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna wrap this episode up here. Well, before we wrap up, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, most importantly, find me at the Hubcap Comedy voting page.
Yeah.
But I can also be found at Caitlin Dean on Facebook, the Caitlin Dean on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it nowadays. At Fat Caitlin on TikTok, Kate D on Instagram. I should post on some more of these platforms. Where can people find you?
I'm at Maritime Brews everywhere, and I'll be posting a lot of travel stuff while I'm out and about.
Right.
So you if you want to follow me on my adventures out there, out wandering the wild blue yonder. I think that's the sky, not the earth, but whatever.
And we can you can also find both of us on the CBC website right now.
Yes, we're both on the CBC website. You can see that interview there. You can also read the article on there. And that you can find us both on Kate and Isaiah Living Large on Facebook. If you want to go ahead and take that out. And what else we got to do? Oh, YouTube. We got to talk about YouTube.
Make sure to like, share, all of those fun things.
We're rusty on this one.
Subscribe, like, and share.
Subscribe, like, and share. And then, of course, we have our... well, it was buy me a mic. We got our mic now. It's going to be buy me a camera, I guess. Is the next.
We're so needy.
I know,
but
right?
only if you want to.
Only if you want to, yeah.
No pressure.
The links will be in the description and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on that, thank you guys for listening, watching, and continuing to follow us. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.